I would love, because I think we're close to birth as well, so I'm always interested to talk about birth and the reality of the energy of birth. But if just very quickly, I think you've covered it a lot on your podcast, and I think we've probably talked about it before, but just some some basic, maybe like some kind words or some guiding words for people who are like, maybe they love their life and, they love their family, etc. But it's just that spark is, perhaps not there. Perhaps they could do with a few like, real practical things that they can do, or practices perhaps from the sexual realms of themselves that could, they could explore to see what's emotionally, energetically or sexually in the way of them just getting that spark back when they walk into work, family, home, when they're going to bed. Any just like little guiding.
Oh, there's so much to that.
You have one sentence to nail it.
Stop it. Neither you nor I are a one sentence person when it comes to these topics. Look, for me, it's like coming back to where, and this is so cliche saying this, but like how can we fill up our own cup so that we walk into the family home feeling full within ourselves, so that there's like this bubbling brook just overflowing, so that we can then share that with our family. And that is so easy to say and quite challenging, I would say, for a lot of parents. And you know what it can feel like to have a child and want to give them everything, and then you can neglect yourself. I can neglect myself because I just want to give so much. So for in particular parents, it's like defining what's going to make you feel like you're overflowing so that you can give that to your family. Because when I feel overflowing, I feel like, oh, okay, now I can give. Whereas when I'm coming from like the dry well, it's resentment. Resentment begins to build, and that's just a killer for relationships. It's a killer for your relationship with your kids if you're resenting them. And so catch yourself if you're feeling any sort of resentment, and then communicate that, and then get help, like therapy, coaching, mentors, whatever you need. Yeah, this feels like really basic stuff, but it's stuff that really helps me.
I mean, well, I guess again, if we're talking about it over a 60-year period, you are going to come back to the basics. I think constantly, and it's just whatever releases the dam. I mean, I will go quickly because I know people don't want to hear from me; they want to hear from you. But
they probably do want to hear from you.
Oh, maybe yeah, both.
I would.
Yeah. Me too, secretly. Like,
yeah.
I think you've just reminded me though of what is often a dam for myself, and remembering different ways to fill up my cup. And I guess one of the ways I forget that I can fill up my cup is because sometimes I'm like, oh God, like I'm moving, I'm even doing some meditation, I'm like really trying to make sure that I have like time with Tani and my kids, and I still like something just still feels like grey. I go to therapy, what the hell is happening? And I think I've spoken to enough guys, and I know, like, for me, like, this isn't an all the time practice, but like a period, like maybe like a once a year period where I'm like, oh, I'm really good at not feeling, which is, I think, a stigma, but for men, but I feel like for everybody. But I think you see there's a renaissance especially on Instagram, of women going like, I'm actually going to get in touch with my essence and my sexuality, and they put the videos up, and so, it's all lovely and but and never would I suggest this for guys to do that, but the essence of that,
I'd love to see you do a dance video. Oh, could you please?
I mean, I've got my character. I've got my character, the conscious cucumber.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I think you've written about that.
Or I've got an influencer as well, Marcella Moon.
I love the influencer. You could do a merge of the two and do like a really amazing dance kind of video where you're feeling into. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, and I was just going to say, like, sometimes for me, the thing that I need to, like, release the dam of me getting some color, because I'm just really, I'm just so good at hiding from my feelings, and pretending I'm good. I'm a good actor. Is just that. Put 20 minutes of self-pleasure without the focus being on release and ejaculation. I remember when I first came across that practice, like, you know, for me, people listening to me would know I'm pretty comfortable talking about, you know, sex. I'm talking about my sexuality, you know, like I've, you know, had open conversations with Tani about it on this podcast, with yourself. But actually, again, it sometimes can be like, oh, I've gone into a little bit of an act of my outward identity. You know, can I sit there for 20 minutes touching myself and feeling myself, and it's, you know, like I'm getting the like orkies for myself. I'm just not a finished project. But that's, you know, like for when I do that, I kind of put it like, you know, in like, okay, I'm going to focus on that this week, and maybe 2 or 3 or 4 times I'm able to do that. It completely releases, you know, the emotional dam for me, because I just can't hide from feelings that I have towards myself when I'm in that space. I can when I'm in stillness or standing meditation or qigong formations or yin yoga, but when I'm in like a, you know, like I'm in a self-pleasure without a focus on ejaculation, it's like, yeah, I think it's pretty significant. So yeah, bringing it back to basics.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing, because, you know, not everyone's going to share about stuff like that, so it's cool that you feel comfortable to share that. And I think it's a really good one you brought up, is how can we connect with ourselves like that without having the goal of orgasm at the end? It's just like connecting in with our sexual essence and our sexual energy. And you're right, you can't hide when you're doing that. Like you can, when I find I can when I'm in stillness or silence or meditating or whatever it is. But when I'm just laying there with myself and connecting with that energy, there's no hiding from myself. It's like, oh, I can't even bring myself to, like, what is it? Touch myself right now. What the fuck is that? Like, Jesus, that's, you know, so whatever comes up for you, I'm not saying that's me, but if that came up for me, I'd be like, whoa, okay, there's something there. So it's like a self-exploration without the pressure of the big bang at the end or the fucking multiple orgasm or whatever. Without having to write about it on Instagram afterwards, you know, without having to talk about it. It's just like, how can I give this to myself?